I remember doing Interact Club. I think that was probably one of the most active clubs that at the time that I was in school. And I remember we would go to breakfast with the members of the Rotary every so often. And I really remember that being a great opportunity for us as kids to interact with adults in the community and just see how they were working together towards different projects. And I do think that was impactful for me to see people from different backgrounds, like doctors and different, organizations coming together. They would always have a service project that they were working on. And I think that was really nice that we as high school kids were allowed to sit in and experience that. So I definitely have fond memories of the Interact breakfasts. And also I think playing sports at Madonna, I think that the benefit of a small school is that you can play lots of different things, even if you're not going to excel at any of them or all of them. I have the fondest memories, though, of being on the soccer team because that was my main sport. And back when I was in school, there was no girls' soccer team, so it was co-ed, and there were definitely adults who went to bat for me to let me not just be part of that team, but to be a leader on that team and to really be allowed to keep it co-ed because that was who I grew up with. And, I was used to playing with boys and I didn't want to necessarily change it before I graduated. So I think that's another thing that meant a lot to me. I think that I always have wanted to do something in my life professionally and otherwise that helped people. I think that, there's lots of different avenues and lots of different career paths where you're considered to be a helper. But I remember in college, there was a professor of mine who explained to me about guardian ad litems and how they speak for children and advocate for the best interests of the child. And that was really the first time that I even considered law school as an option because I liked the idea of being able to speak up for someone who wasn't necessarily able to speak for themselves and to use sort of my talents in that way to advocate for others. So I think that was way after high school that even really dawned on me as a career possibility. I definitely think that that position and being in that role as a public defender helped me understand what some of the needs are and how they can best be met. So with the Blessing Box project, the reason I think that it works is because it's very simple. And I think that people are inherently good and I think they want to help others. And I think that if you can make that easy for them to do, then they will not just participate once, but do it over and over. And so that I think the understanding of how the complexities of giving sometimes stop people from doing it and taking that barrier out of the equation really helps and makes the blessing boxes work because you can just give when you are able and it's not no expectations and no deadlines and no paperwork and things like that. When I first started the blessing boxes, I thought it would be very nice to have 10 because I go throughout my job, I go to 10 different courts and throughout my county. And so I thought it would be nice if I could have one location near each of the places where I knew I was going anyway. And then, so that was my starting goal. And in the end, I probably ended up having locations at 6 or 7, but then other people really jumped on the idea. And now there are about 250. So I never could have envisioned 250 when I started. Thought I would go to law school to, in some way, work with children. And I never have. I was a public defender when I was first out of school. And obviously advocated for people in that way, and then went into private practice. And now I work for local government. So that career path definitely wasn't how I envisioned it when I was first starting out, but it's been a wonderful blessing to me in the different ways that it actually turned out to go forward.